by show of hands, how many of you have ever set up a Christmas tree before or always look forward to it during the holidays? Alright, so Christmas trees are obviously, they've become a household norm. You can find them pretty much in anybody's living room across the US or the entire world around holidays and Christmas time. It's important because it brings people together to celebrate happiness and joy, or the holidays, or any traditions that they have. And today, my tradition I'm talking about is the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree and tree lighting. And to better understand the importance of this tradition, I am going to talk about the history of the tree, how the tree is set up, and even the requirements for the tree, as well as where it goes after it is used. So first we will begin with the history of the tree. So the time is Christmas Eve around in 1931 during the Great Depression. So it's a time where not many people really had reason to be happy. Just a dark time for America, and there was not much happiness for anyone during that time. But there was a group of people who did have a reason to be happy, and that was a group of construction workers at the Rockefeller Center Plaza. And they had a reason to be happy. Show in this picture right here. As you can see, they have set up a tree in the middle. This was in 1931, and they set up a tree because they were about to get paid, which is right here at this ballot box, I think is what they called it, and they received their paycheck there. And there was a time where no one was really getting paid or, again, had any reason to be happy, but they were happy. And so that was the reason that they set up the tree, was to celebrate the fact that they were actually receiving a paycheck. The first official Rockefeller Center Christmas tree was in 1933, and since then it has been a tradition. It has become a gathering place for many New Yorkers and tourists. And in 1951, it was the first year that it was broadcast on TV on NBC on the Kate Smith Show. So from the thousands of people that come and visit New York and the millions on TV, it is a very popular tradition that has gained popularity over the years. With all the attention that it gets, it must meet certain requirements and standards. It must be presentable all the time and from any and all angles. The tree is donated by families, and the families get to help all the way to the lighting. There's no cash exchange for it. It's just a donation of the family for the Rockefeller Center, and that the tree specifically has to be 65 feet tall and 35 feet wide at least. It could be even bigger. Some trees have been upwards of 80 feet tall. And an article on Daily Mail, they mentioned that on average they use about 40,000 plus LED lights on a 5 mile, about total 5 miles of wire to cover the entire tree. And in 2015, the star that they used, the Swarovski star that they used on there, was approximately 9.5 feet in diameter, 1.5 feet tall, with 25,000 crystals and 1 million facets. And this was put obviously on the top of the tree. And this year will be the 13th year of putting the star on the top. As you can see here, this is actually from 2013. As you can see, there are a lot of lights, and it makes sense that they use about 40,000 LED lights on there. Alright, once the lights are off, it is used again for bringing happiness and joy to people, but in a different way. Since 1971, the tree always gets recycled and reused. And that year, they made 33 bushel bags that were used for the Manhattan trails. The trees mostly were donated to Boy Scouts up until 2007, where it was ground into mulch, and when it was donated, they were able to sell it and then use the proceeds to fund an any projects that they may have had or activities or trips that the Boy Scouts would go on. It's stated in an article on Scientific American in 2005, Tishman Speyer Properties, which is the owners and the people who organized the Rockefeller Center tree lighting. They started working with Habitat for Humanity. This was in 2005. The trees would get milled, reused for home repair projects, or natural disaster relief, and donating people in need whose houses may have been affected. And as you can see here, this is wood from 2010 from the Rockefeller Center tree. When it gets milled down, they even print that on there so then it shows that it was from the tree. A Christmas tree and just tree in general is something simple, but it's very unique, especially the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. There are many aspects of it, from the history, how it's set up, and where it goes after. It is more clear now as to why we have these traditions and why we celebrate them, because it brings us happiness. No matter who is celebrating or what the tradition is or why, there's only one common thing, and that it brings happiness and joy to everybody, and that is the reason why we celebrate.